Hey everyone, so I'm still getting lots of questions of how to set up Traffic Planner and where to get the traffic from, more importantly, as well as how to set up this mixed traffic. So today I've got a very simple step-by-step guide to take you through all of that, as well as a mod for you to download and some important news at the end of the video. As ever, do check out the rest of the channel, there's lots more Assetto Corsa on there, and also if you want the latest sim racing news, guides and reviews, head over to simrace247.com, our partner. Okay, then on to step one, and step one is to download this raw file here, which is called Traffic Pack Collision. The link is in the description and it's under number 1. Once you've downloaded that, and it is a huge file, it's 1.5 gigabytes in size, just drag it into Content Manager and then install it. Now, as you can see here, this is installing lots of different kinds of cars. Now, these cars are made for traffic, so they're not detailed inside. They're actually just detailed on the outside because that's all you're going to see when you're weaving in and out of them in traffic. So we're going to click on install, and I'm speeding up this process because it's probably going to take a couple of minutes for these to install. So once that huge file has been consumed by Content Manager, you'll have all those installed and ready to go. Now, there's a couple of steps we need to do first before we can actually get those working on the Traffic Planner. But just before we do that, I'm just going to close Content Manager down. And this is the extracted pack. So obviously you're going to install the raw file, but all I've done here is extracted it onto my desktop so you can see what's in that raw file that you've just installed. You can see most of these cars, trucks, taxis, police cars all have traffic after their name or before it, or if not, they are still part of this traffic pack. So all of these cars have just been installed into Content Manager, so they are ready to go. But you've got some very unusual things in here like buses, flatbed tow trucks, you've got street sweepers, all sorts of things. So this is what's going to make the traffic interesting. So this is the pack everybody's been asking for. It's been around for a while. I think I downloaded it originally about a year ago, but the link is in the description. So that was step 1. So now we're on to step 2, and I get lots of questions about this too. So what we're going to do here is install this tool set here. Now the link is on number 2 in the description, so make sure it's that one you download. That will take you to 2 Reel's Patreon site, which is free in most places, and you're going to download this file that I've just extracted. So the file on the right hand side is the file I've downloaded from 2 Reel's Patreon site and extracted. On the left hand side, this is my Assetto Corsa root directory. So I'm going to go into extension, Lua, and then I'm going to go into tools, which is just on the bottom there. And then when I'm in there, I'm going to go into CSP traffic tool. When you click on this folder, it will either have nothing in it, or if you've tried to install something in the past and it's not worked correctly, don't worry about it. Just delete all the files out of there. So keep it empty. So you want that folder empty. All we're going to do then is copy and paste all of these files from the right hand side, from the bit that we've downloaded, into that left hand part there. Once that is done, that's all you need to do to set up the traffic tool. The rest of it is just in game. Now, just to show you, when you go into this data folder, this is what you should see in there. So this is the extended traffic tool that you've downloaded and installed, not the one with just a couple of cars. This has got all these cars that it's going to use. It's a bigger file size. I think it's about 300 megabytes, but you can see you've got all sorts of variation in here. So not only do you need to download the cars and install them as we did in step 1, you also need to install the correct data folder in CSP traffic tools, which is what we've just done now. So those 2 steps are absolutely essential to get this running correctly. So when you followed my instructions, just double check that you've got all of these files and folders in there. So let's close that down. Now we're on to step 3, and this step you only need to use if the track that you're wanting to actually run Traffic Planner on does not have it integrated. Some of the newer tracks do, a lot of the older ones don't. So what we're going to do here, we're going to install 2 Reel Mulholland Drive. So if it's an older track that doesn't have Traffic Planner, this is the way you're going to do it. So I'm going to go to tracks, and I'm going to find Mulholland Drive in here, and what we're going to do is we're going to copy some of this patch information from 2 Reel to make sure that this will then work with the Traffic Planner. So Mulholland Drive is here. Now, I've read the instruction to Mulholland Drive from 2 Reel, and you can see here it's got a little readme file in there, the install readme. So I've already read that, and I know I need to put these 2 files in free roam and then in data. So if I double click on data, you'll see you've already got some files in there. You might already have surfaces and traffic. If you have, or if you haven't, it doesn't really matter. If you've downloaded the latest patch, all you're going to do is copy these two over, and then you're going to paste them into there. If it's going to replace the files, just click yes, and that will replace normally. So that is us ready to go into the game then. So what we've done is we've installed the actual physical cars onto Content Manager, then we've installed the data folder in CSP Tools, and then we've actually installed the track patch to run the planner. So we can see how that has to work. Now the great thing is, if you've done the first two steps correctly, you can now delete those files, and you do not need to do that again. Once you've done this once, you do not need to do it again. So we'll delete those, and now I'm going to go back into Content Manager, and I'm going to find Mulholland Drive, and I'm going to show you how to actually use the planner. So if you've done all those things correctly, and I've started this from afresh with you on this video, then the planner will work. But there's one thing else we just need to check. Can you remember when we put those patch files in the free roam part of Mulholland Drive? This is the next important part. A lot of these tracks have multiple different layouts. You have to use the same layout that you put the patch in. So I'm going to click on free roam, and I'm going to click on go. So let's jump onto the game. But before I show you the planner in action, I'm going to show you this great mod. Now this is a Toyota MRS Spider Custom by Assetto STI. The link is in the description. What makes this special? Well, 300 brake horsepower, 315 Newton meters of torque, 0 to 60 is incredibly fast. It's got that great animated roof that makes it worth a download in itself. This has got an adjustable supercharger. It's a conversion from Forza 4. A Velo has done the base model, and of course it's got a Kunos sound. This is a really cool little mod, and it's great for weaving in and out of traffic, and that's why it's on the video. So do check that out, and remember, say hello and thank you to all of the modders and support them where you can. So here we are then on Mulholland Drive, and I'm just in free camera mode, and I'm just going to stop at this intersection and show you how to use the tool. So if you've done all the things that I've spoken about earlier on in the video, if you click on the 4 dots at the top and go all the way down to the bottom, you should see Objects Inspector. It's got a little cross here on it, so if you click on that, it will come up with this new toolbar here. Now this is the Object Inspector toolbar. So then if you click on the Tools button and go right down to Traffic Planner, you will see the cars automatically pop up. There is a slider and the number of cars you can use on this. Now it's not as CPU intensive as some of the CSP AI traffic, so you can ramp these up, and as you can see here, over 400 cars or vehicles, and it's still running okay. But this does depend on your rig, and some maps don't like lots of cars, so I would definitely keep it under 200 to 300. Also, if you click on rules on the second little pop-up that's come up there, you can see that you can change the speed of traffic on different kinds of highways. Now the blue arrows that have come up is actually the way that this is working on the map. So 2Real has designed this to actually run on each individual map with intersections, and all of the other modders that are putting so much time in this, like 2Real, to get these to work with traffic, you can see the amount of time that goes into it. So again, a big shout out to all the modders, 2Real for the traffic mods that we've featured today. And I did say at the end of the video we had some news, and this is it. Bella Vista, one of the largest free roams on Assetto Corsa, is having a new release on the 28th or the 29th of January, and that will include planning traffic for the first time. So you can see it running here. I've got a sneaky preview. It's going to be amazing. If you've already purchased it, then you will get an email telling you how to download it. But if not, I'll put the link in the description and you can check out this awesome project. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you soon.